Hey guys, today you'll see me design and cast a military badge for extreme valour, and also put the Arbe Pro Flex II through its paces. Things began with my Danish buddy Oliver over at Shaping Silver. Amongst other things, he had this to say to me.
Let me tell you something. Back in the day, the book said you cannot get drunk in uniform. And many valiant attempts have been made to disprove that. I mean, medals should have been given. But just like in the UK, Danish army is sort of cheap with medals, and we get these little badges instead. Like, this one is for first aid, this one is for being hard to drown, and this one is for being nimble with a djembe. So, maybe you could make one.
Well, such true valour deserves recognition. So Oliver and I discussed this further, and he showed me a rough sketch he'd already come up with. From there it was over to me and ZBrush to come up with something appropriate. There's a lot of symbolism in military medals, so the wreath and bindings had to stay. Oliver suggested the importance of varying levels of valour, and felt that different metals could hold the key, such as bronze, for bravely telling the Major how to do his job, silver, for drinking out of uniform and every other item of clothing, and finally gold for heroically holding on to furniture to prevent yourself from falling over whilst recumbent on the floor. Alcohol comes in many shapes and sizes, including shot glasses, cans, kegs, and even wine flutes. But for me, the crumpled beer can and pint glass truly told the story. I was pleased with the design, and a quick test print showed me that it was going to be a small, thin casting. So I decided to incorporate 1, 2, and 3 sprues into the print to see which would cast best. Unfortunately, the 3-sprued version failed, so I obviously cocked up my supports somewhere, but the other 2 were good enough to cast. Well, they came out okay. Typically at this point, I get out my Foredom and have a go at polishing my castings. But a lot of you guys have commented to me that Foredoms aren't the cheapest tool to buy. Fortunately, Arbe reached out to me recently and asked if I'd like to review their Pro Flex II, which retails at more than half the price of the Foredom here in the UK, and that's a big saving. And it's much the same piece of kit. There's a powerful pendant motor capable of 18,000 revs per minute, just like the Foredom SR. There's a 90cm flexible shaft, just like the Foredom, and a handpiece capable of holding multiple fittings. In fact, the Arbe Pro Flex system is fully interchangeable with Foredom handpieces, which is useful if, like me, you have a few knocking around. And again, like the Foredom, the Arbe is controlled by a simple foot pedal. In fact, the only thing I don't see on the Pro Flex II, when comparing it with the Foredom SR that I have, is a direction reverse switch. Now I have to say at this point, so far I have had no reason to change the direction of the spin, so I'm guessing that's a specialised function for someone out there. But for me and the majority of people, I would think, one direction is fine. So that's a massive price difference for a change of direction that isn't really needed. But is the Arbe up to the job? Let's find out. I could switch to my chuckless Foredom handpiece, but for today I'll keep with the Arbe handpiece, which uses this small chuck key. Well, it cuts with ease. There's no struggle there. Genuinely, there's no discernible difference that I can see between the Arbe and the Foredom. They work equally well. I've been using my Foredom for a while now without any issue. So from now on, I'll use the Arbe instead, so I can test longevity and let you guys know how I get on. Though I think I will switch to my favourite chuckless handpiece, just for convenience. But I do think it's fair to say, to anyone looking for a more affordable version of the Foredom, that the Arbe Pro Flex II does an equally excellent job, but for much less money. I'll put some purchase links in the description for you guys, if that's helpful. So here's Oliver's badge for valiant drinking in the armed forces. A Medal of Honour that could certainly be awarded to many civilians that I know. So I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. Take care, and thanks for watching.